Okay, so this is my spoiler review of Ready or Not, the mystery thriller that also is a dark comedy. It is one of those movies that was getting a lot of attention out of nowhere, and that is because it had a really good reception by critics. So you go in there with expectations of like, okay, this is a sleeper hit. Now this falls under my problem with just Rotten Tomatoes as a whole right now, and I've been on this rant before, but this is a classic example of they give a movie a lot of hype, and it's because the meter says 89% fresh. But that could just mean there's a bunch of reviews that are decent. It doesn't mean it's actually a good movie, or that 8 means it's an 8 on a scale. It's just 80% of people liked it. It doesn't mean it's that good. And this was one of those movies for me where I just kept my expectations here, and it was super disappointing. It does not live up to this hype it's been given. It makes it seem like this is a game changer in this genre, and it is not. And it's really frustrating, and it pisses me off because I feel like people just see anything that's a little unique to them and they go crazy about it, and they think, oh, this is a game changer, this is awesome, it's cool. And everyone kind of just listens to everybody else on it, and they just follow each other like sheep. And this is just a case where I just don't see how you could think this is a great movie. Now, what I like about it, the lead here, Samira Weaving, awesome. She was a treat. Yes, the hype for her as an actress is well-deserved. She is a rare natural here where she's automatically likable on the screen. You root for her, and she just has so much charisma. And I feel like a lot of actresses in Hollywood right now who are getting cast in roles that need charisma, which I was talking about Captain Marvel, I was talking about Jessica Chastain in It. Samira Weaving has that charm, so it's nice to see that fresh face that can put on different emotions and you feel all of it, and she does that perfectly in this movie. So props to her. Production design, excellent. Looks so cool. They did the house really well, and the lighting here was spectacular. That obviously includes the cinematography. That was the highlights of the film for me. Now, always, a script is the most important to me, and this is just another paint-by-the-numbers script. It thinks it's way clever than it actually is. So they just go off this concept, you see, of just, okay, we're going to play a game. There's a card that's bad in this whole pile. It's hide and seek, and you have to survive, and that's Samira Weaving's character. And you're watching this, and you're like, okay, so the adults have to kill her and find her by dawn. It's a very simple concept. This movie was kind of pitched by critics, this isn't the movie's fault, but that there's going to be twisty or suspenseful or just keeping you engaged, and it just does not, because it's actually really just a simple plot. And it tries to blend in comedy, which I think had moments. I think that the scenes with the niece where she's accidentally killing people was really funny. That worked well. Other than that, it was kind of like, eh. I mean, there was giggles in the theater. So if you're looking to just laugh out loud at dark humor, it's not the best you're going to see. It's easy. It's lazy. And then if you're looking for mystery, everything is predictable in this movie. You've seen it all before. And that's a big problem I have here, that everybody's transparent. You see right through it. And no characters here actually have depth to them. They're just all one character type. And that takes me out of it in the sense of feeling like this is really happening, this is intense, or this is crazy and there's a lot of weight. No, it's like you know who he is, you know who he is, and you know who he is. You knew right from the second you saw Adam Brody on screen, he's this troubled soul brother who is conflicted at where he stands. You knew the dad was a nut. You knew the mom was just going along with the ride, but understood the side of the girl here, and it was just like nothing changed on any of these characters. That's who they were. So that was really frustrating, made it way less interesting. I think that there was a lot of corny lines in here, in particular when Alex, the husband, talks to his mom, and he's like, if it comes down to you or her, I choose her. Talking to his mom. And I think the problem with the characters here is that I didn't actually feel like they really were a family. That's what pissed me off. I think the mother and Alex, I was like, oh yeah, that's his mom. It just didn't feel that type of relationship at points. And they kind of missed out on really making you see this family and the drama between them, and that they're actually mom and son. It felt sort of too much like strangers there, which I did not think helped at all in this story. Having said that, I do like the commentary this film has and the theme about just traditions family have that they hold on to, and they're based off these fears that are just ridiculous. And it also did a good job having that in the relationship here with Alex and Samira Weaving here, and that, you know, you get upset because of your in-laws, and this happens in relationships, because they won't let go of these traditions or closed-minded thoughts, and they use it as an excuse for bad behavior. And it also worked well here with Alex, where he just doesn't turn and he ends up choosing his family really over her in the end. And that some people, that's just always going to be the weight, and they weigh those things out between lover and their own family. And a lot of times they choose their own family, even though they know deep down it's the wrong choice, or they don't believe what their family says, but they have this thing just like instilled in them. They can't let go of it. And it's when you're almost blindly loyal to your family. So they did a really good job at that theme. That's what I appreciate about the movie. But man, there was some dragging scenes here. In particular, I'm going to talk about when Samira is in the kitchen and the butler is looking for her. That scene went on way too long, and it thought it was super suspenseful, and it wasn't. She's just walking around that cabinet while he's just chopping something, and that went on for a long time. And then another scene like that was just a sequence of her in the barn with the kid. It started off good, but then she falls down like this hatch. That scene was ridiculously long and stretched out. In a short movie, that can make it feel a drag. And it falls into this territory of everything you've seen in horrors before, which makes you be like, well, what was everyone talking about? Perfect example, you're just seeing her jump over the fence, get out of there, and a car rejects taking her away, and she decides to scream in the middle of the road for everyone to hear where she is, which was just like, that was the point I was groaning, like, come on, here we go, this is horror logic again. And what are we watching? We're watching a blonde girl run away from a butler for about a half hour, and then it ends up her in bondage, getting tortured in a ritual. It's everything you've seen before. This is nothing unique. I'm sorry. This is so blown out of proportion. It just pisses me off. And then it's just her getting really bloody. It's just paint by the numbers. And it's getting way too much credit as if it wasn't that type of movie. So I feel like that concept of the game part, for some reason, bailed them out of that. Where if it didn't have that and good press behind it, this is just any other horror movie you've seen on Netflix. Come on now. Now, another positive, though, I'll give it is I did like if there was some kind of cool twist that they actually were right, and that at dawn everyone exploded. That was cool. I thought that worked. It was also funny. And it was a nice touch at the end with her smoking the cigarette and then just saying the in-laws. So I'll give it props for that. But overall, I don't know if this even makes sense, but this movie is a red herring. It is not what you think it is, that it's this groundbreaking horror movie like a Get Out. It's not that. So please, please just realize that and be above the sheep and the herd of people just thinking everything's great, everything's groundbreaking, everything's good. Come on, let's be real here. But again, I'm excited to see Samira Weaving in more stuff. I think a fair score for this would be a 6.1. Not good. It's just okay. And it's definitely passable in my eyes. So let me know what you thought of it down below. Are you on board with everyone saying this is a groundbreaking movie? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Or maybe you agree with me and you just see it as overhyped per a lot of these movies that are coming out right now in Hollywood. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Please follow me at SteveVarley1 on Twitter and Instagram for more of me. And I'll see you next time.